Hello everyone and welcome to my BFA Quick Start guide series, where I explain you all of the things you need to know in a quick and easy to understand video. In this one we are going to talk about the changes made to the Fire Mage. The video will be separated into 3 different segments: changes made to base on abilities, spells and mechanics, followed by me showing you the different talent builds, and the third segment will be about the rotation. At the end of the video there will be some more bonus content for the people who still want to get the most out of their Fire Mage during the pre-patch. But don't worry, this guide should still be valid and up to date once you have reached level 120. I currently have a love and hate relationship with Fire. It was one of my favorite specs in Legion, but on live I'm not a huge fan of the playstyle. Missing out on one rotational button, Phoenix Flames, really hurts the gameplay. I caught myself a number of times keep pressing Phoenix Flames when I no longer had the talent. You can best compare the BFA Fire Mage with the Legion one, but with a smaller toolkit. Okay, let's go over the first part of the video. Like all mages, the Fire Mage has gotten back their party and raid buff called Arcane Intellect. In my opinion, a good thing, because now mages bring a buff and a Bloodless to a raid and mythic plus. Remove Curse also came back. Searing Touch is a new talent that has been added on the 15 row. This is basically our Scorch Belt reworked into a talent. By far the most controversial change, Phoenix Flames is now a level 60 choice, and sadly enough it's not the strongest one. Conflagration moved from the 15 to the 90 row, and Unstable Magic has been removed. Pyroclasm is a new talent and works as our legendary bracers, making our hardcasting pyros deal 225% more damage. They do stack up to 2 charges, making it harder to waste a possible stack. Do keep in mind that Pyroclasm isn't as strong as our legendary bracers. Alright, let's take a look at the possible different talent builds. Starting with the open world leveling and questing build: Searing Touch or Pyromaniac, Shimmer, Incanter Slow. Tier 60 you can choose freely, as for leveling it doesn't really matter and all of the 3 are very good. Next is Frenetic Speed. Tier 90 is again personal, but Living Bomb is the most fun one. Last tier you can take Kindling for quicker combustions, or Meteor, but since it's hard to keep the mobs at one place while leveling, I would take Kindling. Yeah, so again, the idea behind the questing and open world content build is to make the rotation and gameplay as fast and as smooth as possible. Next is our Mythic Plus dungeon build. Searing Touch or Firestarter, both are viable. Shimmer, Incanter Slow or Rune of Power. Incanter Slow is, let's say, better for sustain damage, while Rune of Power is better in situations where you need to burn down targets consistently. Flame On or Alexstrasza's Fury. Flame On is in most situations the go-to choice, just because its effect is just so strong. Frenetic Speed, Flame Patch or Living Bomb. Flame Patch event when you're sure that during fights the targets will mostly remain at the same spot. If not, take Living Bomb. Last tier is again situational. Like with Flame Patch, Meteor should be taken when you're sure the targets will stay in one place. If not, then Kindling is a better choice, as more combustions will reflect in more overall damage. However, you could also take Pyroclasm should you be doing, for example, a Mythic Plus with a certain affix, like Tyrannical, and boss damage is more important. As you might have already noticed, with the Fire Mage there are no fixed talents for AoE, and they will vary depending on which Mythic Plus you're doing and the affixes. Last but not least, our single target build. Firestarter when the boss's health drops at a steady pace, and when the boss's health drops too fast, you can take Searing Touch. Shimmer, of course. Incanter Slow or Rune of Power. Again situational, executing Rune of Power is a little bit harder, but damage wise they are both very close to one another. Next is Flame On, by far the best choice for raid bosses. Then we take Frenetic Speed. Next is Conflagration, your best choice for raid bosses. And last but not least, we take Pyroclasm. Okay, moving over to the rotation. The Fire Mage does remain very strong and very solid, being a spec that delivers in almost any situation, mainly thanks to the fact that they are one of the most effective classes when it comes down to passively cleaving without having to sacrifice single target damage. First I will start with the easy rotation, and we will work our way up from there. So this basic rotation is made for leveling and open world content. The corresponding talents will be on the right side. Right, so the core mechanic of the Fire Mage evolves around using Fireball as your rotational filler to activate a heating up proc, and using Fire Blast to turn your heating up proc into a hot streak. This hot streak makes your Pyroblast or Flamestrike an instant cast. So a basic rotation would look like this. Precasting a Fireball, activating Combustion, you should get a heating up proc, use Fire Blast, consume the hot streak with an instant Pyro or Flamestrike when over 5 targets, and then you simply chain Fire Blast, instant Pyroblast, Fire Blast, instant Pyroblast, and so on. When your fire blasts run out, you replace them with Scorch. This is of course all happening during the combustion window. Then when combustion ends, you should simply use Fireball as your filler to fish for heating up procs, and once you get one, use your Fire Blast to get a hot streak and finish it off with those instant pyros. Of course, like I said, you can use an instant Flamestrike instead of a Pyroblast when there are a lot of mobs. You can also apply Living Bomb and Dragon's Breath. Not much to it, you just need to work on that muscle memory. Now for the AoE multi-target rotation, again precasting a Fireball, use Rune of Power when talented, cast Meteor, activate Combustion. Now when you are using Rune of Power, there is a chance of not having an heating up proc because you're not using Combustion right after your Fireball, and when this happens you cast a Quick Scorch. This will give you that heating up proc to start chain casting your usual rotation during Combustion with Fire Blast, Instant Pyros, or Flamestrike once there are more than 5 targets. Use Living Bomb when talented. Don't forget to use Dragon's Breath, and again outside of combustion windows, use Fireball as your filler and Fire Blast to turn your heating up procs into those hot streaks, then using either Instant Pyroblasts or Flamestrikes. Once the mobs have reached 30%, use Scorch as your filler instead of Fireball. At that time, Scorch will always guarantee a heating up proc. A few things you do have to keep in mind when executing the AoE multi-target rotation. Like I said, the opener depends on whether or not you're playing with Rune of Power or Incanter's Flow. Because with Incanter's Flow, you will always have a heating up proc, as you can combust right after you precast your Fireball. This means that you will automatically get a heating up proc. However, with Rune of Power, you lose too much time, so there is a possibility that your precasted Fireball will not result in a guaranteed heating up proc, and that you will have to use a Quick Scorch during combustion before you start chain reacting those instant pyros. Next, be aware of how much mobs there actually are to make a decision between using an instant Pyroblast or a Flamestrike. And another thing, when you're using the talent Flame Patch, be aware of where you are putting your Flamestrikes. And of course, always use your Rune of Power before combustion. For those of you who are interested, I will put the target cursor macros that I use in the video description. This simply makes it so your Meteor and Flamestrike are getting casted wherever your cursor mouse location is. Last but not least, the single target rotation. The single target rotation is almost the same as the AoE one, because like I said, the Fire Mage does a lot of passive cleave damage. Do be aware that I'm not including any legendaries in this rotation. That's for the bonus content of the video. As always, start with a precasted Fireball, Fire Blast. When talented into Firestarter, we simply keep chaining Fireballs and Pyroblasts until the boss reaches 90% health. This is our so-called mini combustion. After that, we use our Rune of Power when talented. Again, there is a chance of not having an heating up proc because you're not using combustion right after your Fireball. And when this happens, you cast a Quick Scorch. This will give you a heating up proc to start chain casting your usual rotation during combustion with Fire Blast, Instant Pyros. Once you're out of Fire Blast, replace them with Scorch and keep going up until combustion ends. Now, should you have gotten any Pyroclasm stacks, then that's completely fine, but we don't want to use them during combustion, but during our second Rune of Power when talented. I know before we used to try and fit our legendary bracer procs into our combustion windows, but Pyroclasm isn't as strong and the cast time is way too long. After that, continue the normal filler rotation with using Fireballs to get an heating up proc and a Fire Blast and an instant Pyroblast. With a single target rotation, you're trying to fit in as many instant pyros as possible during the combustion window. Outside of the combustion window, you can use your Pyroclasm stacks by hardcasting those Pyroblasts, preferably during the Rune of Power window if you have chosen this talent. Keep an eye out for your Rune of Power cooldowns. Sometimes it might be better to keep your Pyroclasm for another 5 seconds to use it together with your Rune of Power. When talented into Firestarter, it's completely fine to use hardcasting Pyros from your Pyroclasm during this phase. Okay, over to the bonus content. This part of the video is only for those of you who still are interested in getting the most out of their Fire Mage in the pre-patch. The Tier 21 4-set is still your best option in combination with either the Legendary Head and Shard of the Exodar or the Legendary Hands and the Dragon's Breath Head. They are also a very good option. But there is only one Legendary that does influence our rotation, and that's of course the Legendary Bracers. Like I said a few minutes ago, our hardcasting Pyros from our Bracer procs do more damage than the Pyroclasm Talent one. So yeah, we still want to hardcast our Bracer procs during combustion, but not our Pyroclasm procs. Yes, there are occasions where you will have a Bracer proc and a Pyroclasm proc at the same time. Well, then that means you will have a big nice number on your screen. So the rule is very simple. Keep using your Bracer procs during combustion and use your Pyroclasm procs outside of combustion. Very easy. And that is again all for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Please do be aware that this is still kind of a basic guide, just for the people who want to catch up with their class in a quick and easy fashion. Of course, after BFA goes live and we get into the first raid tier and check out the new Azerite traits, I will of course make a new and fresh Fire Mage guide, but I'm pretty sure not much will change in the future. Like the video if you liked it, put any comments in the comment section down below, and of course don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more WoW videos. For the people that are already subscribed, don't forget to click on the bell icon and join the notification squad. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.